Today is September 25th, 2021, and it is the 50th anniversary of National Hunting and Fishing Day. This is a very important recognition, and people really don't realize sometimes how important the hunters and the anglers are to our wildlife and to our wetlands and to a myriad of other things. Through excise tax, the most popular, of course, is the Pittman-Robertson Act, which taxes guns and ammunition, and you really don't notice it because when you buy it at the store, it's already paid into that price. But over the years, think about that. $37 billion that's gone into wildlife habitat, wetlands, increased fishing access. Those kind of things are because the hunters and the anglers dug into their wallet and made things better for everybody. When you buy a pair of binoculars, you don't pay that tax. When you go out and use that pair of binoculars to watch wildlife and birds, you take advantage of that tax. So remember what this is all about. And in recognition of National Hunting and Fishing Day, I'm going to bring in a story from an old ancestor of mine known as Busted Butt Cox. And I'm going to read the missive that he wrote regarding how he got that name, Busted Butt. So sit back with me for a little bit and enjoy the story. Hi, my name is actually Cornwell Cox. I was born in about 1849, give or take a little bit or there, and I grew up in a pioneer family in Colorado Territory. All of my brothers and sisters took to calling me Bobby. I don't know where that came from, but I hated that moniker. But I became known by an even worse name. But I, in time, accepted that name. Those who knew me well called me Busted Butt Bob. Those who were more formal just called me Mr. Busted Butt Cox. I was asked by the editor of some podunk newspaper to write down the story of how that handle got itself attached to my legacy. Well, this is what I can tell you. It all started in the fall of the year 1864. I was trespassing with a couple of my friends in the Ute country in Colorado Territory. We had made friends with some of the Utes, and they were kind enough to look the other way when we killed a deer and elk just to help us through the winter. We were hunting the wapiti up in the headwaters of Dallas Creek on that momentous day. There'd been a light frost early that morning, and the aspen trees had gained more yellow just overnight. I suppose I wasn't paying a lot of attention. I had my focus set on a set of tracks headed down toward the stream. I just knew in my gut that I was about to come upon one of those grand animals as it took its morning water. I checked the pan on my flintlock rifle to make sure it had priming powder, and I closed the prison over it and tucked the lock slightly under my arm to protect it. I was aware of the stellar jays becoming agitated, and I heard first one squirrel bark and then another quickly answering. I knew they were warning of activity in the area. It could be they were telling of my approach, or, as I convinced myself, they were probably talking to a nice bull elk down there by the stream. I headed directly down the slope and was only about 100 yards or so from the water when I heard a thumping sound behind me. Oh, gosh! When I turned around, I saw this big black bear coming down the hill at a terrible pace. I reckoned that he was not in a hurry to get a drink of water and was more likely looking for me to help him fatten up for the winter. Well, I took off as fast as I could, but only took a few strides before I stepped on an old quaky log that was coated with frost. I remember noticing my bootlaces high above my head, and I tried to slow my fall with the stock of my rifle. Now that did not work well. The stock snapped at the grip, and I fell perfectly flat on my back. But I was able to turn over, and I grabbed what was left of my rifle. I threw my possible bag over my shoulder and placed the broken rifle stock against it for padding. I cocked the hammer and let that round ball fly. It connected that bear right betwixt the eyes. He folded up and rolled all the way to the creek. When one of my companions came upon me while I was dressing the bear, he noted what I was doing, noted my broken buttstock of my rifle, and he there and then tagged me with the eternal name of Busted Butt Bob. Now, though there are some people who think I look an awful lot like Busted Butt, and I have to admit I do, and I have to admit that I took advantage of him in a lot of ways when I learned his story. But for now, enjoy it for what it is. I'm Bob Cox. This is Cox Notes. I appreciate you watching, and subscribe to the channel. I have a little fun with guns and what have you, and just some out and out silliness now and then. But I'm here for your enjoyment and your entertainment. So until next time, see you later.